Okay, we're missing Aiden and Connor and, is that it? Yeah, Aiden Connor. All right, we are on 1-1. We're on the second half of 1-1, which is really only just like this little page right here. And we left off on example 3 doing identity, conditional, and contradiction equations, right? Most of the time, you end up with a conditional where you just get an answer, right? Like under this condition where x is 3, does this be true, whatever, right? But every once in a while you end up with an identity, which is the same thing on both sides, infinitely many solutions, or you end up with something like 0 equals 10 or negative 3 equals 7 or whatever, and that's contradiction. Nothing works when you plug it in for x, okay? That's where we ended on whatever day it was, okay? Here's some more information about identities. The solution for an identity is all real numbers. We said that, right? Or infinitely many solutions. A conditional equation, the solution set is a single element. So just one thing under that one condition doesn't make that thing true. And then a contradiction, the solution set is no solution. So nothing works in a contradiction. Okay. Example 4. Solve each formula or equation for the specified variable. Here we're solving for t. How do I get rid of all this other junk if I'm solving for t there? How do I move it all over? Can you move the p and the r at the same time? Yeah? We're going to divide by pr, right? And divide by pr. So if I try to get t by itself, t is right here, t will be equal to I over pr. That's it. That's all. The variable has been isolated. He is all done. Okay, that one wasn't too bad. Good, good. That was A. All right, B. Here we're solving for P. Oh gosh, how do I do that when there's two P's? Oofda. Okay, let's get all the P's on one side. Can I bump this P over here? If I bump that P over, what does it look like?
Plus P.
Yeah, PRT plus P, right?
That's going to be P plus P, right?
What?
Because you can divide by the RT.
No, we're not going to divide by the RT.
Subtract by the RT.
So I've gotta like get rid of the P, like I gotta do something and solve for both of those P's, right? So I have to turn both of those P's basically into one P. And here's how you're gonna do it, ready? A equals, I'm gonna pull a P out front, right? Like I'm gonna suck the P out to the front. That sounded really weird. Anyway, what's left over if you take the P out? RT plus 1. Okay. Now if I'm trying to get this P by itself, what do I do with the other junk? Divide. This is P times that junk, right? So I'm going to divide by RT plus 1 and divide by RT plus 1. So that's what P will be equal to A over RT plus 1. Got it? So when there's two variables that you're trying to solve for, just put them on the same side and pull that out front like a greatest common factor, and then divide by that other stuff. Make sense? Ish, kinda. Okay, let's go C. Here we're solving for X. All right, what shall we do first? We're solving for X. Probably distribute the 3, right? So 6X minus 15A plus 4B equals 4X minus 2. Okay, we got lots of things and nothing we can shove together except...
Move the X.
Can we... Let's go minus 4X over here, right? Okay. So he's gone from here. But then let's take, like, this junk and let's bump him to this side, right? Can we do that? So how many X's do we have on the left?
2.
2X equals. Okay, what's that look like?
15A minus 4B minus 2.
I believe it, yep. Okay, then we want to solve for X. Almost. We're almost there. We're going to divide by 2. Can we just divide like the whole thing by 2 like that? Or you can do them individually by 2. So you can leave it like that. You can leave it like this, or you can write it as like 7.5a minus 2b minus 1. Whichever, right? Does that make sense? You can do them individually. Good? Yeah, not so bad. Solving for thingy things. All right? Okay, example 5. This is the formula that you use for simple interest. I equals PRT. Not compound interest, not continuous compound interest, not like PERT or anything like that. I equals PRT. I is interest. P is principal. R is rate as a decimal. And T is time. What is interest, by the way? We're doing this in the 7th grade math class that I teach 3rd period. And I'm like, do you know what interest is?
Like how much you pay for like them paying.
So interest could go either way. So if I'm borrowing money from like, let's say a bank, like let's say I'm buying a car and I'm borrowing money for a bank, I pay an extra amount for them allowing me to borrow their money. So if I'm borrowing $10,000, I might pay an extra, like I might pay $12,000. I might pay an extra $2,000 to the bank just to give them an incentive for allowing me to use their money for the time being. Another way interest works is like, let's say they're borrowing my money. So like I put my money into a savings account or a CD or something like that. It will earn interest. And in that case, I'm getting the interest instead of paying the interest. So it goes both ways. Now, if you're putting it in a CD, it probably is compounding interest, not simple interest, but that's a different formula altogether. So here's how this works. A woman borrowed this much for new furniture. She will pay it off in 11 months at an annual simple interest rate of 4.5%. How much interest will she pay? So we're solving for interest. The principal is $52.40. Rate 0.045, just 1 0. Right? We move it 2 places. Boop, boop. 0.045 times, problem, T. T is in years, but they give us 11 months. So how do I figure out how many years that is? Yeah, I would take 11 over 12. That's how many years that is, right? It's 11/12 of a year, right? Okay. So we're just going to multiply those together. This guy times 11 divided by 12, right? We could do it that way. And how much interest? $5,000 is what the annual or what the principal is. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be like maybe, I don't know, $50 or something like that. Oh, $216.15. That's kind of a hefty interest, but that's okay. So you're gonna, and interest is pretty hefty. I should find this TikTok and show you. Okay, you guys are about to enter into the crazy real world of whatever, going to college and things. Okay, so let me explain to you how this works. Ready? Be very, very careful as to how much money you take out in student loans. Student loans right now are insane. They are crazy. And their interest rates are awful. So let's say you're going to college and you take out $20,000 in student loans. Okay, right? And let's say your interest rate is like 8% or something like that. I don't know, 8% interest. Okay. All right. 8% of 20,000 is going to be like $1,600, right? Like 8 times 2 is 1,600, move the decimal, whatever. So $1,600 is how much you're going to pay in interest over that year, right? So total, you're going to pay $21,600 at the end of that year. Here's how this works. You ready? The banks want to make sure that they get paid first. So when you're going and you're doing your monthly payments, right, and you're paying off this thing, okay, here are the months that are going by. You are paying off the interest like first, basically. Okay, so here's how this works. Let's say you are paying, I don't know, $150 a month, right? Okay, so the principal versus the interest. You're paying off the interest first. So out of your $150 payment, right, $145 is going to interest and only $5 is going on to the principal, right? Does that make sense? Same thing with the next month. $145 and $5 is going off the principal. And $145 and $5 is going off of the principal. And $145 and $5 is going off of the principal, right? So at the end of that year, you have paid off $30 in principal? No. How much is 12 times 5? $60 in principal, right? $5, so 5 times 12, that's $60 off of the principal payment, right? Okay, so now your principal goes from being $20,000 down to $19,940, and now you start paying 8% interest on the $19,940 and keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, I watched a TikTok once that was like this guy. I should look it up and see if I can find it. He said that he'd been paying his student loans for like 25 years, and it started off at like $40,000, and he had paid like $100,000 already, and his $40,000 student loan payment had gone from $40,000 down to like $32,000, and he had already put in this much money to pay it back. That's because he's paying on the interest first. So how do you get out of student loans if, like whatever, how do you do that? Like you're just paying interest the whole time and you're not contributing anything toward the principal. Like how do you even get out of it? The way you get out of it is steamroll all of your money and pay more than $150 a month if you can. And anything more than that $150 that you pay goes onto the principal, not onto the interest that you're paying. So like, let's say I pay $250 a month. That extra $150 is bringing this number down so that the next year when it comes around, I'm paying less interest on I'm paying less interest on a smaller principal. Okay. So try to make more than the minimum payments on your student loan, because that will bring the principal down, which will then in turn make sure that you have less in interest payments. Does that make any sense at all? Yeah, awful. It was like mind-blowing. I should see if I can find that TikTok. But anyway, that's how that works. Be prepared. This is like a year from now. Maybe you don't have to worry about it because yours all gets paid for. You're like, yes, right? But yeah, be prepared. Student loans will haunt you for a long time. A long time.
Yeah, and that's like loans in general. You can get there's ways to go around them. Like if you were to do a mortgage 15-year fixed rate, pretty simple.
Right.
But with student loans, you don't have that option.
Right. Like it's just
That's why I feel like it's super important for people to use scholarships just so they don't.
Right. Yes. Try your very, very, very best not to take out student loans, and if you do, when you get out of school, try to pay that money all back as fast as you can to avoid paying the maximum amount of interest. Awful. All right, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to go see if I can find that TikTok. It is insane.